Okay, first things first, I want to make a disclaimer. I am not going to play the recording on my channel. And the reason why I'm not going to be playing the recording is because YouTube has a rule that which is called repetition. If I insert this particular recording, it's going to trigger the YouTube algorithm into thinking that there's mass production of the same recording. So I am pretty late in inserting this particular recording. And YouTube, whenever it punishes a YouTuber who uses what they would consider or deem to be repetition, they demonetize that channel, not the video, the entire channel, if they don't delete the channel. So to protect my channel, I'm not going to play the recording. However, I'm going to paraphrase what's inside the recording. Okay, now that I've done this disclaimer, let's get into it. Guys, I just recovered and digested everything that I was listening to at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry with the new witness. What's her name again? I know her surname is Ransami. I don't know. That lady sang like a canary. You know, when you say sing like a canary at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, that's what we mean. That lady was like, yeah, she came with records. She came with receipts. And she did something that I've always done since I started work as a young man. Every time I had a meeting, a telephone call, or a conversation with my superiors, I would, immediately after that conversation, I would write an email on what we spoke about, and then I would send it to the superior. Some superiors, they got a little bit irritated and they wanted to know why was I mean, we just had a conversation, why you were repeating it in the email. I would say, no, I'm protecting myself. Oh, that came in handy at some point. I wouldn't only send it to the relevant person, I would CC my private email as well, in case somebody decided, oh, he proves it by writing an email. And then if they take my gadgets, I know that I still have evidence back home. So, Miss Ramsami, she was doing the same thing, y'all. She would record every conversation and every telephone call. She would send an email after that to say, referring to the conversation we had earlier, give you the subject and the pointers that were discussed to protect yourself. If you work at the office or a firm or whatever the case might be, you need to start doing that. Anyways, so the girl came to. I'm sorry. That is. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, Miss Ransom. You know, just I was doing it the Gen Z way. But anyways, it's fine. So the lady came and dropped some bombshells, and you could tell that she was not happy being scapegoated by Andrea Johnson, because we did hear Ransami's name being dropped by Andrea Johnson. And some of these accusations involved the entire Kumalo situation and Mukweli situation, and how, what's her name? Andrea Johnson, she's a pretty, I don't know how you put there's a word for people like her, but they call her flip-flopper knee-jerk, flip-flopper knee-jerk. Is that what they call her? So basically, she would have a meeting with prosecutors and they would discuss an angle for a specific prosecution. And then comes some paramal individual. I tried to find out if this paramal person is a lawyer, a police officer, an investigator, but I think it's an investigator of some sort. And she would change her mind. Like, snap of a finger, everything that was discussed for the past 2 hours and decided on, it now gone through the door. It's thrown out because of one individual. So Ransami says at some point she began to become insubordinate or started resisting any suggestions that were being made by Paramal. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm butchering people's name. You know I'm bad with this. And she would get punished. She would be taken to a naughty corner by not being given cases to adjudicate, not to adjudicate, to prosecute. She will be made redundant by Andrea Johnson, simply because Andrea Johnson did not like how she defied Perumal. I cannot wait to see this Perumal person. What sort of power do you hold that you go to an IDEC office, you capture its head, because that's what you call capture. You capture its head and you make the head who's supposed to make the final decisions on matters of corruption to prosecute them. And then you say no. And you say no. I mean, looking at Miss Ransami, she, if I don't know if you, I'm one of those people that will look into your eye and try and see, are you, you know, but you can tell she's broken. This is a lady, a professional that has been broken. She is so broken that even when she speaks, sometimes she tilts her head. In most cases, professional people don't tilt their heads when they speak. They speak with confidence and they chin up and they project as well when they speak. She's a prosecutor. As a prosecutor, you must not be reminded every single time to raise your voice. This is a broken person. Broken by whom? It sounds like she is being broken by Andrea Johnson, because I'm saying this. The people that take therapy, according to Miss Ransami, are people that have been traumatized by Andrea Johnson, people that make complaints and the way they've been treated. So there is an in-house therapy that they go to. And when you look at her body language as well, especially the moment she has to mention Andrea Johnson's name, there's discomfort. Oh, when it comes to the recording, it was clear as daylight that this woman fears Andrea Johnson. I don't know if Andrea Johnson is so powerful that when her name is spoken about, the ground shakes, but I think it's because of the people Andrea Johnson is surrounded by, rather than Andrea Johnson herself, that Miss Ransami fears. That is what I picked up. But there's also a huge sense of embarrassment and betrayal. I also sense that there's a huge sense of betrayal. You know, when she puts her hands during the recording, she put her hands on her head. To me, it sounded like, oh my God, I cannot believe I'm doing this to you. I cannot believe I'm doing this to you, but I have to do it. It's the betrayal side of things. So it sounds to me, when I'm looking at that body language, that Andrea Johnson is not a bad person per se. She is surrounded by very, very nefarious people. And those are the people that are making her do things that she shouldn't be doing. And then, of course, the embarrassing part, this is a whole professional. This is a whole professional gossiping about the Madlanga Commission and saying the judge is a judge. And he had the audacity to say that this is, what you call this, criminal law 101. So why were you conceding and saying, yeah, you are right, chair? Because some of the things that we were listening to, well, it just did not make sense. I guess to a first year law student, is were like, I'm sorry, what? And then those who are law students, and you were listening to Andrea Johnson's testimony, and then you thought it was going to make your examination or assignment a little bit easier. Don't take a testimony. Don't use her testimony. You'll fail. So so you can tell that there's that sense of embarrassment that a whole professional is gossiping about the Madlanga Commission. To me, particularly the chairperson of the Madlanga Commission, the part that really got me was when Andrea Johnson advises the witness that if they call you to come to the Madlanga, leave the country. Everybody inside that room gasped for air. Like, oh, what do you mean? you, To me, I would take that as an advice to defeat the ends of justice. And the part where I realized that Andrea Johnson, she no longer cared, is what she says to Ransami in the phone call. She's like, well, anyways, it is what it is. Our names are going to be dragged to shit. We'll see what happens. So she knows that she's in trouble. She definitely knows that she's in trouble. So Ransami, I'm quite interested to hear from her. Why did she make that recording? But I think I already know the answer. The answer is more like, I want to prove to you what sort of a person this is, what we've been dealing with. Because she runs the office as a gossip mongol. That's how she runs the IDAC office. Instead of focusing on corruption and prosecuting those that are implicated in corruption, like the Zondo Commission, she's not doing her job. Yo! But I must also say that listening to Ransami, she reminded me so much of, high school. I went to an all boys school, but most of our teachers were women. Some as young as Ransami, and the way they interact, there's humor here to make things a little bit less tense. She reminded me so much of my teachers in high school. I was enjoying her. I was enjoying listening to her. I was enjoying also my mind going back to high school. And I'm thinking, I could sit the whole day in court listening to you prosecute somebody. I would be like, I enjoyed listening to her. Yes, the voice thing needs to be improved when she returns on the 9th of August 2026. Her testimony was stood down until the 9th of August. I guess today we are going to have a different witness. Like I said, I never check who is the next witness. I always wait to be surprised and also blind react to their presence at the Madlanga Commission. I don't want to prejudge them. I don't want to run and check whether they are going to send us on a wild goose chase or whatever the case might be. So I don't know, what were your thoughts about Miss Ransami? And who's this Paramore? Do you think it's going to come now that Andrea Johnson advises them to leave the country? Leave the country? Ma'am, why do you keep digging your grave? I didn't understand that. So there were other recording as well that I heard, if I'm not mistaken, because I was also busy with other stuff at some point because it was getting a little bit late. But I cannot wait to see her return at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, and I hope she is safe and she's kept safe, and I hope she brave it up once again and complete her testimony, because at the end of the day, I think she helped a lot with the Madlanga Commission when it comes to the IDEC session of this inquiry. I don't know, guys, what are your thoughts? I'm interested to hear. And let me see you a little bit later, because there's something else that I want to share with you in another video of what I witnessed in the Pan-African Parliament. Sijwayelwa kabi, yes. Yo, sijwayelwa kabi. I want to use another terminology, but this is the clan. We are classy. Sometimes, yeah, I do get outbursts, but it's for emphasis in most of the time. But yeah. Anyways, guys, thank you all so much for your support. I highly appreciate it. I do read all your comments, by the way. Y'all are funny and very, very intelligent, I must tell you. And I appreciate you all so much. And let's see each other a little later. It's almost 8:30 a.m. And I have a lot to do as well today. A lot to do, including SACR stuff that I have to complete. Anyways, I'll see you next time with a new video. Goodbye.